Hello, guys. Welcome back to another session of the new series, Back to Basics. So, in the previous two sessions, we have been discussing the topic of conclusions. And whenever we talk about conclusions, a very similar and an associated topic has to be discussed. And the topic I'm talking about is called inferences. Now, what exactly are inferences? How do we solve questions on inferences? How are they different from conclusions? Are they a type of conclusions? These are questions which are often deliberated by aspirants, and that is what we're going to discuss in today's class. So I think let's begin without any further delay. We'll be firstly understanding the concept of inferences in theory, and then we'll be practicing a few questions. And in the next class, we'll be possibly practicing a mix of conclusion based questions and inference based questions because these are similar topics. So let's start the discussion for today's session. Now, what do we exactly understand by inferences and how are they different from conclusions? So, to understand this, let's begin with the statement that all conclusions are inferences, but all inferences are not conclusions. What do we understand by that? By that, we understand that conclusion is a subset of inference. Inference is a broader thing, conclusion is a narrower thing. That means if we were to draw a Venn diagram, conclusions would be encapsulated by inferences. This is how I would draw it. That conclusions are, you could say, a type of inference, a category of inference. Now, to understand it better, before I explain it to you in actual theoretical definitional terms, let's understand it through an example. एक example लेते हैं, ठीक है? काफी बार मैं example quote करता हूँ. So example is you are going in a car, you are driving a car on the road, and you stop at a signal, you stop at a red light, right? Now, while you are waiting at the red light, waiting for the signal to turn green, you hear a loud noise from the behind of your car that is very loud. Okay, so you hear a loud noise and you don't know what has happened. Something has happened on the road. Now, what runs across your mind? What do you think? आपके मन में क्या चलता है? What can be the possible things which could have happened if you hear a loud bang noise coming from the road behind your car? It could be a collision between two vehicles. That is a possibility. That is an inference that it could be a collision. It could be a tire burst that could create a loud noise. It could be a bomb blast for that matter. We don't know. Right? It could be any of these things. So these are possible inferences which you make about what would have happened based on the given information and based on your understanding. Two important keywords कि available क्या है and आप उससे क्या समझ पाते हो. Now when we have three inferences, do we know for sure कि इन तीन में से कौन सा वाला सही है? No, we don't know. All of them could be possibly true. We do not have enough information to confirm whether it's a collision, whether it's a tire burst, or whether it's a bomb blast. Now you step out of your car, you turn around and look that it is a tire burst. A car was going on the road and suddenly its tire got burst, and that created a loud noise. Now you got the confirmation. So you had three inferences in that situation, but out of those three inferences, you got one conclusion, which was the loud noise was created by the tire burst. So this is a very simplistic way to understand how do we differentiate between inferences and conclusion. Okay? Conclusion is the final thing which needs no additional or concrete evidence to prove. That is something which you have already proven based on the given fact scenario. Whereas inference is sort of a speculation. हिंदी में इन्फ्रेंस का अगर आप एक्चुअल ट्रांसलेशन मुझसे पूछो तो हिंदी में इसका एक्चुअल ट्रांसलेशन इज अनुमान. ठीक है, speculation. That is what inference is, a logical deduction. Now let's look at the definitional part of it. So what is inference? Decoding inference, a conclusion that you draw about something by using information that you already have about it. So it's a type of conclusion which you draw. It is using observation and background to reach a logical understanding, right? We used the observation. What was the observation? The loud noise. What is the background? Understanding that loud noise के possible causes क्या हो सकते हैं road पे, and then we reach a logical understanding that these could be three possible case scenarios, right? Examination of facts and evidence and understanding what they suggest, and this helps us in understanding the implied meaning. We don't know the exact meaning, we don't know the sure short meaning, but what is the implied meaning, हम उससे समझ क्या पाते हैं. On the basis of the premise essentially means facts. In our case it was the loud noise, and thus gain a deeper understanding, right? So it's just using observation and reaching a logical understanding based on the facts, as simple as that, nothing complicated here. Now there are some points to remember while discussing inference as a concept. The first thing is it should not contradict and it should support the passage, right? So when you talk about an inference of a tire burst, it supports the passage in a way that loud noise can be associated to a tire burst. Same is for accident, same is for bomb blast. But अगर मुझे loud bang noise आती है और मैं बोलता हूँ कि किसी ने शायद अपने हाथ से मच्छर मारा होगा, so does that support the passage? Can it create such a loud noise that I hear it inside my car on the road? No, it would not, right? Killing a mosquito would not create that loud of a noise. Or if I say that someone must have dropped their phone on the road, would that create such a loud noise? No, it does not support the facts. So your inference should be supporting the passage. It should not be contradicting the passage. Secondly, it should be within the scope of the passage, scope of the context. It should not be beyond the context. अगर मैं loud noise के बाद बोलता हूँ शायद कोई आइसक्रीम खा रहा है, how is that even related to the scope of what we are talking about? How is that within the context, right? Someone eating an ice cream has no correlation with a loud noise. So it should be within the scope and it should not be irrelevant, and it should be synonymous with the degree of certainty. What do we mean by that? Now, this we'll understand better when we solve questions, but to give you a very simple understanding, कि अगर कोई चीज which is being talked about, an observation, is to a certain degree of certainty. Let's take for an example, studying for an exam, right? So if you're saying that I study every day for the CLAT exam, therefore I have a better chance of cracking it. So you have a better chance of cracking it because you're studying every day. So you are matching the degree of certainty with your premise. What I'm trying to say here is you don't say that just because I study every day for the CLAT exam, I will always crack the CLAT exam, or I would never fail the CLAT exam. You can make a claim up to a certain degree. You cannot breach that degree. And that also, in a way, correlates to another rule of logical reasoning, is the rule of extremes. कि जो हमारे extreme inferences होते हैं, extreme assumptions होते हैं, extreme conclusions होते हैं, those are not usually accurate, those are not usually the correct answer. So that is what it is about. Now, let's do a small exercise to see if we understand the concept of inferences better. There are three given case scenarios where you have a set of premises, you have a set of facts, and on the basis of those facts, you have to infer, you have to understand and reach a logical deduction or a conclusion that what exactly is happening. Right? There could be multiple inferences in all of these case scenarios. Okay. Now, the first one says, a man ran after a retreating bus, waving his briefcase frantically. Frantically means like a crazy person. So, if a person is running after a retreating bus or a running bus, waving his briefcase, what exactly could be a possible inference? It could be that he forgot something on the bus. Yes. It could be that he's waving someone goodbye. It could be that he's trying to catch the bus. You see, there are multiple inferences which you can draw from these given fact scenarios. You don't know for sure. But when he boards the bus and then he buys a ticket to a particular place, then you can conclude that he was waving frantically for the bus to stop so that he could board the bus and go to XYZ place. That would be a conclusion. But inferences are all of these observations which we make based on our understanding. Second example, if she died, I would not go to her funeral. Now, as sad as this may sound, what can be possible inferences? It could be that I don't like her as a person. It could be that we had a fight. It could be that she did harm to me in some way or the other. She caused a loss for me in some way or the other. So there can be multiple inferences, right? But we don't know for sure what is the conclusion. The last one is Jake almost wished that he had not listened to the radio. He went to the closet and grabbed his umbrella, even though he would feel silly carrying it to the bus stop on such a sunny morning. Now, what is the most likely inference, the most likely inference is on the radio. He got to know that there is a possibility of rain, right? That is the most viable inference here. There could be other inferences as well, but this is the most logical understanding which we can make. So this is how you observe the fact scenarios and arrive at inferences. And when you can confirm that this is the thing which is going to be established, then you can say it is a conclusion. So I hope the distinction between inferences and conclusion is clear now, and you won't get confused with both of them ever again. Now, let's solve a couple of questions on inferences to consolidate our understanding of the theory. Okay. If the bookstore does not respond to modern trends, it will not stay in business. And if the bookstore does not offer electronic books in a popular format, it will not respond to modern trends. Furthermore, no electronic book format is popular unless it can be used on each of the top three ebook readers. So, what's happening here? Multiple things. See, we're talking about a bookstore and saying that if it does not evolve with modern trends, it would get out of business. First thing. Second is, if they do not offer ebooks in a popular format, let's say PDF format, it will not respond to modern trends. So that means in order to respond to modern trends, we need to offer ebooks in a popular format. Furthermore, no ebook format is popular unless it can be used on each of the top three ebook readers, let's say Kindle. If it cannot be used on the top three, let's say Kindle, ABC, and XYZ, then it is not a popular ebook format. Simple. Three things we have. If the statements above are true, which one of the following must be true? That means which one of the following can be drawn as an inference here? Because an inference has to be true in accordance with the facts, right? Let's read the options. It is significantly more likely that the bookstore will stay in business if it responds to modern trends than if it does not respond to them. So we have to tell which of the following must be true. So this seems okay, but we'll read the other options as well. If the bookstore offers electronic books in a format which can be used on each of the top three ebook readers, it will stay in business. Okay, this also seems appropriate. The bookstore will probably stay in business if it offers ebooks in a popular format. This also sounds right. If the bookstore stays in business, it will offer electronic books in a format which can be used on the top three ebook readers. Also sounds about right. Popular ebook formats generate more business for bookstore than unpopular formats. Now, again, here we are making more of a generalization that popular ebook formats generate more business for bookstore than unpopular formats. This is more towards extreme and more towards going out of context. This does not seem like the best option. Now we have to tell which one of the following must be true. That means it has to be true if these statements are true. So let's read them once again. It is significantly more likely that bookstore will stay in business if it responds to modern trends than if it does not respond to them. Now, the statement says if the bookstore does not respond to modern trends, it will not stay in business. That means you have to respond to modern trends to stay in business. So, is it more likely that it will stay in business if it respond to modern trends than if it does not respond to them? Well, yes, but if it does not respond to them, it would get out of business. If the bookstore offers ebooks in a format which can be used on each of the top three ebook readers, it will stay in business. Is that a guarantee? Is that a guarantee? The flip side is true that no ebook format is popular unless it can be used on each of the top three ebook readers. And if the bookstore does not provide them in a popular format, it will not respond to modern trends. And if it does not respond to modern trends, it will not stay in business. But can we say that if they offer it in a format used in top three books readers, it will stay in business? No. It might still go out of business due to other reasons. So this is eliminated. There could be other reasons of it getting out of business, it not having enough inventory, not having enough titles of books, not having the required capital to run the business. So this is not a must be true sort of a situation. Third one, sorry, option C, bookstore will probably stay in business if it offers electronic books in a popular format. Okay, so just popular format is not enough. It has to be accessible on the top three ebook readers as well. So we cannot make an inference that it would probably stay in business if it just offers the books in a popular format. They have to be, usable on the top three ebook readers as well. So this also gets eliminated. If the bookstore stays in business, it will offer electronic books in a format which can be used on the top three ebook readers. Okay, if the bookstore stays in business, it will offer electronic books in format which can be used on the top three ebook readers. Hmm, there is there are other factors to staying in business which are not told to us. So if it stays in business, this could be just one of the conditions. But is this a necessary condition? I think yes, it is, because it says no electronic bookstore is book format is popular unless it can be used on each of the top three ebook readers. And अगर वो popular format में नहीं होगा तो modern trend को respond नहीं करेगा, and modern trend को अगर respond नहीं करेगा तो stay in business नहीं कर पाएगा. So if it stays in business, it means it will offer electronic books in a format which can be used on top three book readers. This is a direct inference which we can make. लास्ट वाला हमने एलिमिनेट कर दिया था, टू जेनेरिक. ऑप्शन ए क्या कहता है? इट इज सिग्निफिकेंटली मोर लाइकली दैट द बुक स्टोर विल stay in business if it responds to modern trends, if as if than if it does not respond to them. So it's not just more likely, it is sure. So this again goes against to what is mentioned in the fact. It will not stay in business. It's not just a likelihood; it is a sure shot guarantee that it will not stay in business if it does not respond to modern trends. Option D is the one which is completely in sync with these statements. I hope you guys understand it. थोड़ा सा tough था ये question, I know, but एक और question देखते हैं. People are always less happy to accept scientific data they feel contradicts their preconceived beliefs. यानी कि जो वो पहले से उनके माने हुए beliefs हैं, the beliefs which they have ingrained in themselves. If scientific data contradicts them, they are less happy to accept it. No surprise here. No human likes to be wrong. But science is not supposed to care about preconceived notions. Science, at least good science, tells us about the world as it is and not as some wish it to be. Sometimes what science finds is consistent with a particular religion's wishes, but usually it is not. What can be inferred about good science? Good science is well received by the educated people. Okay. Good science is based on concrete results obtained through testing the hypothesis. Okay. A good science and religion are same. A good science will always prove the general populace wrong. Again, always आ गया, it became an extreme option. It would always prove the general population wrong. नो यूजुअली लिखा है ना यहाँ पे, ऑलवेज तो नहीं बोल सकते हम. गुड साइंस एंड रिलीजन आर सेम? नो, दे आर एब्सोल्युटली नॉट द सेम. In fact, they are inconsistent with each other. Good science is well received by educated people. Are we talking about educated people here? No, there's no mention of educated people. A good science is based on concrete results obtained through testing the hypothesis. Can we say that? Yes, we can say that, because the passage says that science is not supposed to care about preconceived notions. It is to tell us about the world as it is. And how would it be able to do that? By obtaining concrete results through testing different hypotheses, right? So if science finds something consistent with someone's religion, that is usually not the case. So that is why option B becomes the best inference here about good science. Not that it is well received by educated people, not that they are same as religion, or that it will always prove the general populace wrong. So I believe this gives you a certain fair bit of idea as to how to think about inferences. These were a little, I would say, questions on a little bit of a tougher side, but in the next class, when we have mixed questions on conclusion and inferences, I'll try to incorporate some easy questions there so that you get a better hold on them, and then we can slowly level up the level of questions as well. So that was the concept of inferences for you guys. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you all in the next session. Till then, keep learning, keep preparing. Signing off. Bye bye.